Welcome to the Caregiver Supports Project October 2023 project update. The Caregiver Supports Project aims to implement a continuum of placement resources that enable safe, stable, and supported placements for children and youth in foster care. There are two phases of this work. In Phase 1, DCYF will replace the existing 4-level rate assessment system with a 7-level model that is based on the needs of children and youth in care. In January 2024, DCYF will implement the new 7-level payment structure and start paying the new foster care level payments for licensed caregivers. Phase 2 of the Caregiver Supports Project is the implementation of a new Caregiver Supports contract to provide placement supports to both licensed and unlicensed caregivers. Case aids will be part of the placement supports available for Caregiver Supports levels 3 through 7. The Caregiver Supports contracts will be awarded to providers through a bidding process, and the placement supports will be phased in starting in 2024 through 2026. The supports will roll out according to an implementation plan that is based on capacity to provide services and allowed legislative project funding for the next few years. The Caregiver Supports Project is part of DCYF's Thriving Families campaign. Thriving Families is made up of multiple projects and initiatives in the child welfare space that focus on prevention, supporting families and staff, and strengthening practice. The projects, including Caregiver Supports, are listed on the Thriving Families website along with links to fact sheets about each project. Today's presentation focuses on impacts associated with Phase 1 of the project, reviews changes that will be happening related to Exceptional Cost Plans, or ECPs, and covers transition plans for kids already in care that currently have a level 1 through 4. Phase 1 of the Caregiver Supports model will be implemented starting January 1st, 2024. Phase 1 includes new caregiver support level payments for licensed caregivers. Phase 2, which will start rolling out later in 2024, includes the implementation of placement supports for all licensed and unlicensed caregivers. For details about Phases 1 and 2 of the Caregiver Supports Project, please view the August presentation video or presentation slides that are posted on the project website. You can find the links under the previous communications header at the bottom of the Caregiver Supports Project website. The Caregiver Supports model includes basic foster care or Caregiver Support Level 1, as well as 6 distinct support needs categories shown on this slide. Each support needs category is associated with a Caregiver Support Level 2 through 7. The Caregiver Support Level determines the foster care rate that licensed caregivers receive starting January 1st, 2024, as well as the placement supports level of service that all caregivers licensed and unlicensed will receive as the Caregiver Supports contracts roll out in Phase 2. DCYF convened stakeholders several times in 2021 and 2022 to collect input on how to address inequities, subjectivity, and inadequacy of the current rate assessment process. The result is a Caregiver Supports model that focuses on the needs of children and youth and providing caregivers with the supports necessary to create safe and stable placements for children and youth with varying needs. Focusing on the needs of children and youth creates more transparency related to support levels and makes the process for determining support levels more fair and objective. The Caregiver Supports model increases foster care level payment reimbursements and closes a large gap that previously existed between the highest foster care level reimbursement and BRS payments. When Phase 1 of the Caregiver Supports Project is implemented on January 1st, 2024, the current rate assessment process with levels 1 through 4 will stop. For children and youth in licensed homes that are currently in care, as of December 31st, 2023, DCYF will have a new Caregiver Support Level 1 through 7 determined that will go into effect January 1st, 2024, when the system changes, so that the appropriate level is in the system when the new rates are effective. The transition process for children and youth currently in care will be discussed more later in this presentation. On January 1st, 2024, the current rate assessment process will be replaced with the new Caregiver Support Level determination process. This process, which is reviewed in more detail in the August presentation available on the project website, uses a new tool to identify support needs, which are then validated using health history data available from DSHS's Research and Data Analysis Team, or RDA. This represents a big change to how levels are determined. The caregiver support levels are designed to align with the diverse needs of children and youth in care. This means that DCYF will focus on identifying those needs by reviewing information available in FamLink or other administrative data, collecting information from the social worker, parents, significant people in the life of the child or youth, or the children or youth themselves when appropriate. This is an objective way to ensure supports are available for caregivers caring for children with a variety of needs. Starting January 1st, 2024, DCYF will no longer contact caregivers within 30 days of placement to complete a rate assessment. The caregiver will be notified of the caregiver support level that has been determined based on the child's needs within 40 days of placement, but likely sooner. If the caregiver believes any needs were not considered in the determination, they may appeal the determination. DCYF may reach out to caregivers during the level determination process to gather information about the child's needs that are not available from other sources. At any time, if a child or youth's needs change, the caregiver can request a review so the level can be modified as needed based on those needs. The new foster care reimbursement rates for licensed caregivers will go into effect January 1st, 2024. Note that payments received in January are for services provided in December with December 2023 rates. So the first payment licensed caregivers receive with the new rates will be in February for services provided in January 2024. One of the goals of the Caregiver Supports Project is to reduce the number of exceptional cost plans, or ECPs, by providing supports that are based on the needs of children, so caregivers have the resources they need to support children and youth in their homes and do not require an ECP. DCYF recognizes that a small group of children and youth has special needs that cannot be fully served within the Caregiver Supports model. For that reason, DCYF is in the process of developing a standardized process to approve exceptional cost plans, or ECPs, for these unique cases. Details of the process are still being defined, but at a high level, ECPs will be approved by a committee of representatives from each region, headquarters, child welfare, and field operations, as well as subject matter experts who have knowledge of programs for children and youth with special needs, such as WISE or DDA. A standard process will create consistency statewide and will also allow DCYF to identify trends in the reasons ECPs are being requested that could lead to program recommendations to increase supports for children and youth with certain characteristics. Starting January 1st, 2024, children and youth in licensed homes that are currently in care must have a level 1 through 7 entered in FamLink so that the new foster care reimbursement rates are generated. For children and youth in licensed homes that are currently in care as of December 31st, 2023, DCYF will have a new caregiver support level 1 through 7 determined that will go into effect January 1st, 2024, when the system changes so that the appropriate level is in the system when the new rates are effective. DCYF is currently in the process of determining the caregiver support level 1 through 7 for children and youth that are currently in care in licensed homes. Licensed caregivers will receive an email with the new level determination that will go into effect January 1st, 2024, sometime in November or December of this year. In order to support the transition, regular 6-month assessments will stop for the remainder of 2023 and start again in January 2024 when the new caregiver level determination process goes into effect. Rate assessments for levels 1 through 4 will still be completed for new placements in 2023, so the correct payments can be made for the remainder of the year. Caregivers can still request a new rate assessment for levels 1 through 4 if there are significant changes in a child or youth situation. Please visit the DCYF rules filing page and click on the Foster Care Rate Assessment link for information about WAC changes. You can also check out the project website for up-to-date information. Pre-recorded project updates like this will be posted on the Caregiver Supports Project website at the end of each month. DCYF is also working with tribes related to the implementation of the Caregiver Supports Project. Tribes have the option to do their own rate assessments on tribally dependent children starting in Phase 1 and to provide placement supports to their own members instead of using a contracted provider in their catchment area starting in Phase 2. DCYF will engage in a formal consultation on Phase 1 with tribes to determine project impacts and engage tribes in project implementation. Roundtables will be held on November 14th, 2023 from 2 to 4 p.m. and November 28th, 2023 from 1 to 3 p.m. The consultation is scheduled for December 12th, 2023 from 2 to 4 p.m. For more information about the tribal consultation, please email the Office of Tribal Relations. If you would like to meet with DCYF to discuss the Caregiver Supports Project and impacts to your tribe, please email Mandy Moreland. You can also view the Caregiver Supports Project presentation for tribes on the project website for more information. Thank you for viewing this presentation. Please send all questions and comments to dcyf.caregiversupports@dcyf.wa.gov. A new presentation will be posted on the project website next month.